Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Threadlings, a filmmaking production diary. I'm Miguel Ortega. And this is Tran Ma, who's not talking.
Hello, everyone. Because you usually say this is Tran Ma, then I go hello.
After all of this time, she still doesn't know how to do it. Tran Ma.
No, but that's what you do.
I know. How's everybody? How are you?
I'm good. We'll talk to each other. So I'm going to pick up from last week, and I'm just going to take this and start taking into texturing. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's so awesome. I love it.
That sounds super genuine.
But it is.
Hold on. I just got to make sure that all the naming is good, because it's going to inherit this name. That will be the easiest way to do it. And let's just clean this up.
So what happened this week? This past week, what happened?
I don't know. You tell me.
A lot of things happened. Netbug, hello, Netbug. Hello and happy Valentine's. Happy Valentine's.
That's right. It's Valentine's Day. I mean, I do know it's Valentine's Day, but then I forget at the same time. I am trying to name this, and it's not picking up the name.
Yeah. So tell me what you're doing.
I'm trying to name this part here, just so I can bring it in. But there's already like some kind of overlapping name, and I'm not sure where it is. Or it just thinks that there's an overlapping name, but I'll just call it main. Yeah, I'll just name it whatever, or just rename it. Let's export this as an FBX. Also, let me set my project. Hey, look, this is Ricardo. Let's override this one, or let's call it new. Let me try it again. I'm like really slow.
That's okay. I think anybody that watches our streams know that this is the Dumb and Dumber show.
I already see I have an FBX there, but I'll just do this one. And I'll make a new template. I think just with SSS is good. 4K, DirectX, and UDIMs. I need to upgrade Substance too. And then let me just go to the path. Just this project has a lot of assets. Okay, here we are.
I guess I could share something real quick while you do that. Let me just share something real quick. So this just is officially public now. So Luma Pictures and Half Empty Studios are collaborating on an original animated horror film, Ira Day. It's officially on Luma Pictures' website, which is cool. I just did my whole charades without the thing on. So yeah, it's pretty cool. This is the first company I ever worked at in visual effects as a modeler. So to come back like this is pretty cool. Very exciting.
Yeah, super exciting. I don't sound excited.
We're excited.
But I'm excited. Let me big mesh fast. I just said it. I'm like, yeah, super excited. And it came off really
It sounded almost like, yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it sounded sarcastic.
Yeah, that's as excited as she'll ever sound. Yeah. So it's pretty cool. If you just go to if you want to take a look at it, it's on the news section of their website. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So
I'm actually super excited.
This is crazy. So yeah, I don't even have words for like all the stuff that's happening. It's kind of insane. But anyway, I'm gonna
I
give
don't
it
know
back
if
to
you
Tran.
want to say anything about her, and that's it.
Do I want to say anything about it?
Yeah, like it's gonna be great because
that we don't have to do the work. That's the main thing. Like we can't work like this anymore. We're literally gonna drop dead.
yeah, that's true.
So what's great about this is that we wrote the script. We're super proud of the script. And we're going to be working with this company that's a great company, and they're going to help us make this thing. This is the darkest script we've ever written. I'm super proud of it. It's when I say that if we pull this off, there's never been anything like it. It really is like it's dark as fuck, and
Oh yeah, and there's people who are like,
it's animated, and it's gonna be really intense. So it's like it's an R-rated film, but all done in animation. It's no silly nonsense here. This is like intense. It's based off of a script you wrote for the Ride Back Rise program, and it's basically like a missing chapter in the Old Testament. So it is biblical horror, but done with animation, all in like old English. I wish it could have been done in Aramaic or Hebrew, but that's what I originally wanted. But I think this is already going to be a tough sale to begin with, so it is in English, and it all takes place around Sweden, like in that part of the world. So yeah. Anyway, we wanted to share that. Super cool. None of this would have happened if not for Voice in the Hollow. And Voice in the Hollow would not have happened without Alex and Gnomon. So we definitely want to give a huge shout out to Gnomon and Alex for all of these things.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks so much.
Yeah.
Miguel is
So-
absolutely right. Like, who knew that we would get anything? Right.
Yeah.
Net bugs. Like, I'm in. I hope it ruins my ruins my adulthood. It's dark. Like I know that there's some people. I don't know how many people, but there were obviously people who didn't like Voice in the Hollow so much because it was dark.
That's fine. We don't. They don't like the Voice in the Hollow. We don't like them. No, I'm
Yeah,
just
we're like,
kidding.
you don't like me. I don't like you. I don't like you either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we know.
There's this funny thing where people are like, I feel that I know when we played the Voice in the Hollow at SIGGRAPH, I think that was not our audience at all. I think that a lot of the people were there to watch movies about dodo birds falling off
Oh,
of a
it was
cliff.
yeah, it was there's a bunch of CG shorts and
And ours was a super dark thing, and we're fine with that, and that's kind of the thing that we're trying to do anyway, where there's this expectation, whether people admit it or not, that the moment it's animated, they're like, okay, this is going to be fun and goofy and whatever. And we want to hit this really hard with Ira Day. It's truly not written as an animated film in any way, shape, or form, and we hope to break that mode. So I think the animation fans that are there to watch, you know, fun and whimsical stuff are gonna hate this movie with with all their heart. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So it's gonna be cool.
it's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be cool. I just remember we were talking to this producer, and I was telling him like about this project that we're trying to do, and I'm like, it's gonna be really dark. It's gonna be really awesome. Da, da, da. And I'm like spilling my heart to this guy about how excited we are about elevating animation. Da, 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 da. And then he goes, "Oh, that's great. I have a 4-year-old daughter. Do you think she'll like it?" And I'm like, you think I'm gonna tailor my film around your 4-year-old daughter who was pooping in her pants literally a year and a half ago? So that's what we need to break out of that.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, that's an interesting topic itself. Like, um, Miguel and I never thought we would go down the path of animation. So now that we are, you're like, oh, okay. It's. I think that was like the last thing we ever thought we would actually do, and then people call us animators now, which is really ironic because I don't know how to animate. Like, I literally am not a good animator, but I have the label animator, which is strange. And you can easily just get boxed in. Um, yeah, you can get boxed into expectation of what you're supposed to make. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's like when you say dark, the expectation of dark is like not really that dark. You know what I mean? And then when we actually go dark, it's like shocking. I say, I told you it was going to be dark.
Yeah, it's funny.
I am applying like the smart material that I have from the previous one, so I don't have to start it from the beginning.
Let me
And then I realized like
You realize what?
I'm like super slow. Some of these things are smart materials, and I'm just not sure what's going on. Let me just rescale this. Or is it this one? Okay, it's this one. So I guess what I'm doing right now is like as you upgrade some of these things, it like loses the original map. Let's put it back. And I'm just adjusting them to fit. There we are. And I, as Miguel was talking, I already baked the mesh maps. So that's the inner mask, which is single-sided. I'll do the eyes. Let's pull this out. And then let's do the eyes. So these were already like dialed for the eyes in the previous ones. So when I pop it back in, it already looks good. And then I'll come here. And this one will take me a bit. I just want to pull this out of the group. So this was a smart material. Pull it from my other stuff. So I don't have to make it completely from scratch. But I do have to like disassemble it. So that's like my base material. It doesn't have subsurface on. Speaking of subsurface, I've been looking into like Unreal, the latest version, 5.5, and contemplating like basically trying to test stuff because contemplating bringing, you know, upgrading Threadlings because it's at 5.3. Like I hadn't messed around with 5.4 and it didn't seem to look any better. And it was kind of buggy. But then I started looking at 5.5 and I feel like the subsurface is like better. Like it's more tangible. So now I'm contemplating bringing it in. I think the only thing is like it, you know, it could break a lot of stuff, so it could be really scary. So I want to do like more tests. Like I want to make sure that the hair looks good and all those things. So it's going to take like a, you know, a few days to make sure it's safe because if it looks good and then I bring in like all these things that we're doing like hair and the hair looks bad, then we just have upgraded and that, I don't know, wasted all this time. Okay, there we are. So I just activated subsurface. This thing has so much, everything in Threadlings has so much subsurface.
It's subsurfacey as hell, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not doing that in 5.5, right?
What do you mean?
Like, are you going to start showing some of it inside of 5.5?
No, because I don't have like a light scene. Yeah. And I'm not sure, you know, I have to bring Mayo in. I have to set up like a, I don't know, maybe I'll just migrate a small level, bring Mayo in and see if there's any problems. I did notice like the fur looks nice in 5.4 or hair. It seems fine in 5.3, but I want to test like the hair shader in 5.3 is like really metallic. So I want to see if it's not anymore because it might look a lot nicer. And I'm wondering if Aces kind of looks different. I mean, it shouldn't, but it's just one of those things. Okay, so now I want to apply. I should be looking at technically I should be looking at like my other stuff. In terms of other stuff, I mean like the other owls, but I don't have them open.
The other owls, I love the sound of that. Tran's got the coughs today, the sneeze. What is that? That's a cough.
I have allergies.
I always cough, sneeze, and sneeze, coughs. Okay, let me see.
So these UVs are mirrored. I guess it saves time when in UV space. And then up here, let's do this one.
Let's see. That's 192, 330.
Okay, so we'll have some metallic fabric. And then some coloring. I don't know what all this coloring is. But a lot of it looks pretty good instantly.
Yeah, that looks good.
I'm like quiet because I'm
Because she's working till like 7 in the morning.
yeah. And I'm thinking really hard. Well, I've been working at 7 in the morning trying to do.
We've been troubleshooting some stuff.
Well, I've been trying to do tests.
It's been R&D 5.5 week.
Yeah, and I would show, but there's nothing to show.
The big
It's
thing
just-
the big thing that we're actually contemplating, we'll tell you guys, is we did a few tests where we removed motion blur entirely off of some shots, and we removed every other frame. So we did it on twos, and we kind of fell in love with the look of it big time. And we're now contemplating like re-rendering all the stuff we've done on the Threadlings and really push that 2D animation poppy feel in the we just think it looks so incredible, right, Tran?
Yeah, it looks amazing.
And
Possibly, yeah.
It's crazy because we're usually like motion blur's biggest fans, and we're like looking at this and we're like, oh my god, why does this look so incredible? And it's like all of a sudden the textures look better, everything looks better, and we're not sure why. It's not even that it looked better, they look tangible now. Like, I don't know, it just looks really good. We'll show you the tests soon.
So basically, yeah, make it look more stop motion.
Yeah, it just lends itself so well, in particular for the Threadlings. Tran always exports the geo. Wait a minute, actually, I don't know the answer to this. So is that geo straight out of Marvelous? It is. I know it is, but
It pretty much is, but
Yeah.
it has to be like cleaned up a little bit.
so you don't like retopologize it.
No, I don't
guess.
retopo it, but I have to merge it, but it's all triangulated. It's a prop that will never deform. So I would never do that to an actual face. I'm so tired. Like I'm like, what am I doing? Sorry guys. Okay, I'll just create a new node.
Okay, let's see.
I guess I'll mask it like this. Okay. And I don't think everything will be perfect, but it will give me a lot. I do like the coloring here.
That looks beautiful.
I also have to change like the base texture mask too. Let's do the next one. Let's leave like the inside like a little bit lighter. This one's like the patterning is like way messier than I've done it in the past. But I don't know, maybe I'll leave it like that because it's kind of cool that it's a little bit more chaotic. Oh, this one here I had to paint by hand at the top of the head. So let's fix that. Okay. And then up here. Just erase that. I don't know, you want to play rain sounds. It's one of those days.
Rain sounds. Yes. Rain sounds. That's pretty good. All right. So let's see what we got in the chat. I'm in. Hope it ruins my adult. I know you said that already, but
I think it's better stuff. I do like kind of this more orange color. Although I'm not sure that the other guys are looking. I think I'll just do whatever and then come back to it. But I might be making it in to look inconsistent.
So how's everybody else doing? You guys tell us stuff.
I don't know, Miguel, you tell us stuff.
We're the only people on Earth who don't watch this.
Well, you watched the performance though.
Yeah. It's good. It's a good performance. My favorite part about it was the outrage.
The outrage.
Yeah, there's like these video clips of like a bunch of middle Americans watching it completely, not even saying anything outrage, but just their faces. You could just see this like shock, like what is this madness, right? Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, I don't. I saw you watching it.
Oh, of course
It
not.
didn't seem like shocking,
Of
like
course not.
or anything
But
different.
that's why it's so shocking to them. It's why it's so shocking to me to watch how shocked they are, because you realize like, oh, we really do live in a completely different world. If this is like shocking to you at this level, where they're just like, what are we looking at? It reminds me, there's all these old clips of like parents watching Elvis back in the days and face of just utter disgust. Like, what is this? And it's the exact same thing. What's cool is so Hendrik is doing a movie with the South Park guys, which is, we can't talk about that at all, but we were invited on set to watch them shoot a few scenes, and it was one of the coolest experiences we ever had.
It was yeah, my jaw dropped. I was like, I can't believe it.
Couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was really cool.
I'm gonna open up. I just saved this. I'm like, I don't remember the pattern. I don't want to throw this away. So I'd like to actually be able to use it.
Why would you throw it away?
Because I am not being consistent without a mask. But what I'm going to happen, my screen went. I think I said no or something.
doing boring hierarchy organization. That's a lot of it. That's a lot of it. This week I did a lot of stuff, like just going into like a billion different level sequences and organizing everything, like my light here, my model here, my material parameters here. Like that stuff. Even when I'm doing an edit, I just put sounds everywhere, and then I look at the sound and I'm like, oh my god, what a disaster! I need to organize this a little bit better, like sound effects, people, footsteps. Yeah,
I'm taking a screenshot of my own stuff because I need to see how how I patterned this before. And I'm like, oh, I don't remember. And I want to make sure that I'm consistent with colors. And I think have lost my swatches or they've been buried. So I want to sample the actual stitch. I'm just picking them up and then storing the colors. Because I use the pastel for all this. I think I got all the colors. And then I want to just take it back down because one of these things are as organized as they should be.
pretty cool, pretty cool.
I took a screenshot of it with the page. I actually do just work at this. It's like take screenshots of my own work. Like, I could do variation. And I want it to make sense still. Because it's complex. So that was pretty hard. And I'm just dropping this on to the ref. And again, I do this all the time. I just want it to be like cool on the screen. But oh, I don't need this. No. Okay. So let's go back there. And then do something. I think even like fabric assignments, I'm not very good. So I have like 3 different fabrics, like a velvety one, and then a linen, and I just a corduroy. And I just want to see. Looks like even here, I was like, oh, whatever. like pretty random about it. So I'll stick to that, the randomness. And then just randomly make them lighter. I think the thinking is like, because each one of these fabrics has a different value. When I go fill these in, they just create more natural variation in the shape, so they're not all mechanical. Or I don't know, I just wasn't thinking that much. One or the other.
It's looking very pretty.
Yeah, everyone just like this. I mean, this is kind of fun, to be honest. The texturing part is the best part of this because it's more artistic. And then putting it together is like really tedious. So it's different women. I don't know if I want one in here, but I do put metal fabric over. And it's just, the other thing is just obviously I want different types of fabrics just for variation. So like this velvet, I really wanted it to work. It had like a fabric like that on the nail, and it just didn't read very well. So we ended up retouching that. There we go. That's something maybe somewhat sensible time. I don't think I even talked about how I had to retouch the nail because it's just like, okay. Oh, hey, I didn't even press that on the screen. But he did get retouched.
They all get retouched.
Yeah, they all get reworked. And which is really normal. Like when you work in a movie, like I guess maybe the first thought is like, oh, you're going to make these characters, and you put your initial time and that's it. But you don't end up working on a character for like the same character on and off for like a year because it has to go through so many changes. Sorry, guys. You think you know?
About the math?
No, that's what I was saying.
Well, I mean, we basically, the one thing we've noticed, and this is such a horrible thing to say, is that filmmaking process is basically just keep redoing stuff over and over and over, right? It's just improving this. So you'll like something, and you're just going to make it better and better and better and better and better. And then you just keep redoing it. And then by the end, you can maybe do it better.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah. They really are. Well, it just goes through, a lot of changes. But even if it was something that you're excited about, you do get like tired of it. I didn't get like eyebrows. I think maybe spots are they are the same color.
I'm watching this friend of mine, Freddie, posted this video where they grab like some old horror movies from like really crappy looking ones, like 1970s, 60s, like they almost look like Latin American horror films from the 60s. They look really low res, 16 millimeter. And they ran it through Topaz AI, and man, it just looks so insane how well it up-res it. It looks completely real, and like shot with a 4K camera. It's pretty incredible.
And the colors are mixing and like accents. As I'm doing this, I realize how different. These guys kind of look the same. The patterns and is completely different. Then the placement, everything is different. So I guess we're going to look at that. Could be that line. They're already small. Little details here. And maybe that. And this bed is like this bed. Let me make it a little brighter. This will go really black. I don't want it black. Okay, so this one is red. And then this should be light oranges, which should be very little. Let's add them fill. And it's probably just like an accent color. I don't know why I have this. I don't know if this is much of it. won't use this as the accent. Not, and it has a lot of color for it now. So maybe that's not the accent. I'm gonna redo the pattern, but look at this less. So when I'm looking at my own stuff, I'm like, what did I do? So I did do variation where they were more blue, and then I was afraid of using that color. So I have a fill. I'm just gonna make another fill again. And the reason why is because I'm gonna try out another red shade. Technically, the shade should be good, but I think it just looks a little desaturated. See how it looks on 90. And then I'll set another. So I'm putting like different layers with different opacities. What are you thinking, Phil?
Looks great. I love the colors.
Something like that. I can also do like over them with what is it? So I like that right up here. I'm gonna get rid of it. And I wonder if I want to use no white on the brow. I'm not sure about this metallic material. Like that. What do you think about that?
You're thinking keeping it much more beige and then having just red accents.
Well, like, no, it's not. It's gonna be mostly red and white, but I'm just trying to figure out the color pattern.
Yeah, and it looks really pretty.
And then just no,
Daria says the colors look awesome. Seems like a good compromise between the last two versions we showed last week.
no, okay. It's the old one. I don't know what I need. It doesn't seem like I need it. And this one I know was focusing the eyes. So, well, yeah, here. And I was much more random about the eyes too. So like the hair, like I didn't do the same pattern. So I'll come back in with that. And then bring in some of the colors.
That workflow that you have to just color the UV shells is so clever.
Oh yeah. So when I make this with Marvelous, it's much more tedious. I cut all the shells. So like the UV, the way you notice and you can see the individual patches. And it's way more work to do that. But if I didn't do that, I'd be painting masks like for forever. And I would never be done. It would take so long to do it. So even though it takes a while, it saves me some time. Do like whatever that's doing. If I need one, but that's has to be activity.
My new favorite thing is going into Graph Editor and just messing with it. It's kind of weird. Like I actually look at the Graph Editor now, and it's like it actually makes sense to me. It always confused the crap out of me before.
I mean, on what?
Just like adjusting curves and knowing what that performance is going to look like by just adjusting curves.
I see.
Like where you could look at it and be like, okay, this is going to give me smoother results here. This is going to not look as good. I could push this over here.
Okay, so I kind of have a pattern here. Okay. Looks like I'll darken the blue like this. And then I need like a forehead patch of that. This red is too dark. Okay. Actually, okay. It's this one here. Okay, so now I have color. One of these are too white. Okay, so it looks like I accidentally darkened some of these. I think it needs to be a little bit brighter. So I'll save this. And I think that it will start sticking. Well, we would have a gray version. I don't think we're doing gray. I need color. Oh, and I forgot to save the switch settings. That's okay. Let me save the best. What do you think, Miguel? What do you think?
I think it looks good. Sorry, I'm doing some normal map test with that easy game. For some reason, the sound is glitching. Is there a reason why you guys chose an owl for the mass design? Yes, because owls eat moth. One of the natural predators of moths is owls.
So let's put up this switch. Well,
Does the sound better?
I mean, maybe, I don't know if it's like that for everyone. Maybe it's just one person.
I don't have a great effect like a perfect sound.
Yeah, but That's not like our actual audio. That's like the screen.
Yeah, but it could be because I was using Unreal. That's this stitch tool, honestly. I can't even imagine this this project without this tool. Like, my God, that is just the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I agree.
So they say the rain distorts our voices, so there's no more rain.
Miguel will have to talk a little bit more.
I think it's the rain. Like, look at that. Looks so freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's
Does
pretty
this
cool.
sound better now? I actually think it's just the rain sound makes it sound more distorted than it is. So that was just the rain. I just turned the rain off. So no rain. You can now hear my angelic voice in high def.
I think they all want to hear your voice.
Yes. And Guy sounds too loud for me. I'm Guy.
Okay, so I have that outlined. I don't know if the stitches are too big.
It's because I don't talk too loud, Tran talks too low.
Yeah. Well, I'm like really having bad allergies, so it's really hard for me to talk.
Zoom out, let me take a look at that.
Let's turn on subsurface. I think these stitches also have SSS. Let's take a look. Okay, they're not really changing. Normally I can map the SSS a little bit. And nothing's happening. Or maybe it's happening, but it's too slow. Okay, what do you think? Actually, the stitches are small. Netbook asks, you want to read the question?
Yeah, I noticed there are certain colors you experiment with. Do you create a palette beforehand?
No.
She has one in her head though, so you do have a palette.
Yeah, but it's so intuitive. But I guess
Look at that's so funny.
what?
How it just stretches out like that.
Yeah, you have to place it correctly. It doesn't like it.
When it's in between seams.
Well, when it's in between like forms, you can put it in between seams, but not like when it turns like that. I think that's the size. I don't think this is metallic at all. Let's bring it back. And I would just keep stitching it. Okay.
That's really pretty. So one thing that it not may, but is going to happen is we are going to cut down on some of the streams because of how insanely busy we are. We're still finishing the Threadlings, and we're still going to do shows, just fewer of them after February. There'll probably be bigger updates, which I think is going to be even better for everybody, because some of these are like, pretty boring. But we'll have more progress faster. But it's just, this Luma thing is a huge deal, and it's not the biggest deal of the stuff that's going on in the past few months. Like, things have just gotten like out of control, crazy. So we're just so busy.
Yeah, and it's kind of it's not even busy doing like work. It's just when we were on Voice in the Hollow, in the beginning of Threadlings, it was, well, from Voice in the Hollow, all we did was work on Threadlings. We didn't do anything else.
We didn't do anything. We didn't leave the desk.
Yeah, so it was really, really intense working hours. And even if you have nothing else going on, you can't sustain that. So you just get burned out. And I think speed wise, I'm just slower now because I'm tired. So I'm not even as fast as I can be. Like, I don't perform as well.
Have you tried electrodes? No, but I would. Is that like the stuff that's in Gatorade?
You know what? I don't know if you can talk about this, but like, what do people call like Ritalin? People say that it makes you like super hyper focus, and you can get like any task done.
Yeah, but that's not good.
Yeah, I know. I would never try that, because I think if it works, you can't like.
That's not good.
Yeah. I think for us is we just need like, I personally need a break. I'm really tired, and my productivity is like much lower. And Voice in the Hollow, it was, well, I ran out of gas at the end, but I was still doing 100% speed, even though I had no gas. And then when you work like that, you just burn out. And so I don't think I ever recovered from that burnout, really, from Voice in the Hollow. And then we started Threadlings, and I was already tired, and I've only gotten more. And then, like Miguel said, we have like all these other things happening, and I'm not doing like CG stuff on it, but just doing things like attending meetings.
It's a lot of meetings.
Yeah, it's a lot of like, those things take up so much of your time, especially in LA. And you have to go to all those things, of course. But it feels like the only way, like if we were in Voice in the Hollow and just doing meetings on top of that, we wouldn't have gotten as much done. Like the way that we got Voice and Hollow done was like gluing our butt into the desk, basically. Which I think most Gnomon students know that feeling because that's what they do. They just work all the time.
Only some will know anteater material. I don't know. I don't get that one. Elaborate on that one, Sir Netbug.
Oh, well, this is the anteater material.
Oh, that's anteater material.
Yeah.
Damn, look at that. Netbug goes back old school.
Yeah.
Feels so good. KZN. What's going on? Yeah, I'm thinking electrolytes. Electros. You know, I have a lot of old like I don't know what era that is technically, but electroshock therapy devices. Like it's called like quack science.
Oh, we do have like an antique one.
Yeah, which they thought back in the days that you know, electrocuting yourself was therapeutic and would cure everything. So I find them super interesting, and I bought a few of them. I think we have 2.
When you think of like certain quack science like that, or like how, you know, like leeches are being bled, like it's supposed to cure a problem.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we probably still have quack science like that today. We just don't realize that it's quack or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's how that looks. I wonder if I made it too small. It seems fine. Let's do some around the eye. Then I'll have a better idea. This stitch part is fun. So we were outsourcing some texturing for a little bit, and the work was good. But I realized that made me more tired because I was doing like the really tedious task of doing all this stuff only, and then I needed like break up because this is actually the fun part of it. Like building this is not really that fun. I mean, it's okay, but it's less fun because it's more annoying stuff, like cleaning up and everything.
I hope you guys get some rest, but I'm also excited to see all the movies you guys are making. A conflicted feeling. Will this be monetized? I hope you all get dividends. What is monetized?
Oh, like you can monetize videos on YouTube now.
You mean this thing? Oh, Gnomon has given us plenty. We don't need dividends.
No, like monetize is like, I think like when you put YouTubers put videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So are we getting paid? Is what he's asking.
We're not going to monetize the whatever we release.
Yeah. We only need exposure. No, we need money, but
that makes I think it makes certain things more difficult. Well, the idea is to get it made into something much bigger, right? With more money. And then Miguel and I not doing this. Like I'm not doing all the stitching and stuff.
that's
like you just have a team.
We would never have taken the Luma project if it meant that we had to keep doing any of the work because we don't have the time to do it.
Yeah, and then it would defeat the purpose of Team Up.
Yeah.
So the Team Up is, of course, because they're an amazing studio. So it's a creative team up, all, you know, and of course they are really great, and we need something like that. A group of artists, they're really, you know, amazing, and I think they want to do something more artistic too.
This is so meticulous,
Yeah.
and it's still with an incredibly simplified tool, yet it's still meticulous.
Yeah, this is not that bad. Some of the stitching gets bad. This is just like straight lines. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, I've gotten used to it, I guess. Maybe the first time I did this, I thought it was a lot.
It's therapeutic.
Yeah.
So the Benjamin says, I can't quite put a finger on the style of this. Kind of European, really nice work.
Thanks. I don't know if it's your what it is either.
It's weird Tran style.
Yeah. I think that's what I would call it, just weird Tran aesthetic. You know, I don't have a background in stylized art. I've always done like try to do more realistic stuff because I come from like a VFX like work experience, and everything, you know, was live action and matching plates. I don't know. All my stuff always geared towards that. And then we started doing stuff in Unreal, and it was like, yeah, we're not going to try to do like photoreal humans with just the two of us. I think try to do photoreal human is really hard for a studio. It's still really difficult. So we pushed it more towards like stylized. And we didn't want to be kind of like semi stylized, semi real, because that's super uncanny. And just to be able to get things done, just to keep things simple, the characters became more simple. And because I don't have background in stylized work, when it comes to designing stuff, I'm just like, oh, okay. And it and it just comes out odd.
We're basically like the worst people to ever work in stylized animation, because we're like, we don't ever look at animation when we're trying to like find reference. We're like, let's look at spaghetti westerns or horror films from the 70s, and that's our bigger inspiration.
And Miguel had all these really great ideas for what he wanted the cloth to look like. And I was like, that's cool, but I don't think we can do it.
You mean for caught?
Yeah, well, not like, just like you wanted the world to be more knit.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I don't think we can do it.
It's just that the tools are not there for crochet. The world is not ready for
crochet.
for like loose crochet. It could do tight crochet, but I don't want tight crochet. I want loose crochet.
Yeah, so like I don't know how long you've been following Benjamin, but like
originally we were going to have different social class like type hallways, and like the teenagers would be in the loose crochet area, which we'll still do once we do the feature film.
yeah, so I think these guys are supposed to be little, right? So like the kind of crochet Miguel was talking about, like are very big and loose, kind of like these ropes. This this is the stuff that makes you want to do like pick up Houdini, because you could probably build stuff like this. And okay, so even if we could build the knit stuff, and then it also has a lot of fibers, so it just became to me like very difficult. So it's like, okay, maybe you make the model, but now you got to put fuzz and everything and hair and everything. And I was just like, no, this has become so complicated. And again, like these characters are like Smurf size, literally. So each knit is ginormous. Yeah, so I was like, that's not, we were making things really, really difficult. So then instead of trying to do that, because I thought it was just not sustainable for us, I'm like, well, what can we make? I'm like, that's fabric. I'm like, well, I don't know. I feel comfortable and marvelous, and I can easily like make a mesh much faster, and we don't have to put fuzz and everything. We do have like fuzz on some of the characters, but they look kind of funny sometimes. They look kind of like noisy. It takes longer to render, and it just takes the whole shot. Like the whole shot takes so much longer to do. So I can't like imagine doing a whole environment like that and trying to get it done with our manpower. And so it basically led to this aesthetic. Because that's because of our limitation. You know, it's crazy because here, all our environments have subsurface scattering on them. So like all the buildings, like you cannot do that in like V-Ray. Your thing will never render. But trying to get like fuzz is, in my opinion, harder to get it to look good.
Where?
In Unreal. But you can do fuzz like super easy in
V-Ray.
Yeah, like it's just so easy. You know, like you could tell a student, oh, just put fuzz. They're like, okay, because it's so easy. And then trying to do it Unreal, you're like, all right.
Yeah, it's a weird thing how that's what's got to be so tricky for like a producer when they're getting into like animation or whatever. You're like, okay, we could do hair, but we can't do fuzz. But we could do water, we could do rain, but we can't do someone stepping on a water puddle. But we could do an ocean. Do you see what I mean? Like an ocean, that's not so hard. Stepping on a water puddle, ooh, that's hard. Rain, that's not hard.
Yeah, and try to explain that to someone without a CG background, like, yeah, unless like the producer is.
No, it just doesn't even make sense. Like, why would an ocean be easy and a water puddle be hard if there's, you know, and you're like, okay, but if they jump in the ocean, then that's hard too.
Yeah, I mean, if you know CG, you understand these things. But if you trying to explain that to someone else who doesn't, like, why?
Yeah, it sounds like madness.
Yeah, it sounds like we're just talking over, but like we're just telling people random stuff.
They're like, do these people even know what the hell they're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, Threadlings is all the look, everything is result limitation. And then for me, the big thing in trying to be more efficient, Unreal is like to have as few steps as possible. So, you know, A lot of people will want to sculpt stuff in ZBrush. I just don't want to do that. Oh, this stitch looks really bad. I think I have to. I can't seem to delete the point. It's like deleting other points. This tool is acting weird. So I need to like start a new one. I'll end this here. Oops. Here's a question. How did you guys, oh, I'll start with this. Do I use a tablet subs painter? Yeah, totally. I use a tablet for everything. Like everything, like modeling. I don't use the mouse. Which kind of sucks because when you're in Unreal, like the tablet doesn't feel good. So when I try to like use the mouse, I look like I have no idea how to use a 3D software or a computer because I swerve around like an idiot with a mouse because I'm only a tablet user and I don't play games, so I don't know how to like move around Unreal with like the game hotkeys comfortably because I have no video game experience. So but I'm like purely tablet for everything.
I used to be, but I've lost my soul.
You're the one who made me get into the tablet.
Oh yeah, but I've lost my soul now. Now
Now you're mousing it.
I just don't model nearly as much as I used. Like I used to only model. Now I'm more of a lighter editor and writer. I just don't do as much modeling anymore, unfortunately.
What do you mean? Unfortunately, I think you're happy not to do it.
Well, absolutely, I fucking hate modeling.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm trying to sound dramatic, Jesus. But yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, so that stitch on the eye.
I like the thought of being a modeler, but
You don't even like the thought of it.
no, I don't.
Um,
You know, I paid my dues. I did it for over a decade, over 15 years. I was a modeler. I modeled plenty.
yeah. And then there's another question. How did I? Oh, here's a funny. It's not popping up here. I model and I hate myself for it. How to make the eyes radio rate stuff. No, it's just pure. See, that's where I didn't do any of those things. I just modeled it in Maya. So it's just all poly model. Of course, I didn't poly model at this angle. I modeled it straight. You know, it's like a half sphere, and it's just I just use instance. So I just model like this half section, and that's it. And then I smooth it because we smooth all our meshes outside of Unreal because at one point Unreal didn't support smoothing anymore. It can now, I think, but we just do that anyway to keep it simple. I work super simply. I don't have a bunch of steps in any part of my work process, because it makes everything slower.
I think that's a big
Thanks.
thing to just simplify stuff. I think the moment you're overcomplicating stuff,
Yeah,
it's no bueno.
it's actually, you see that in student work. You know, and as a teacher, I always tell them, like, simplify your stuff.
When you were a teacher?
Well, I am a teacher. Not were. I didn't
Yeah.
mean to say were, but students can do that. And then, you know, it's, if you have to repeat the same steps over and over, which is what you have to do in production, you're constantly running the same task over and over again, and your thing has too many steps and it's complicated, it takes you longer to run those tasks over again. And not just that, but like that becomes like the pipeline. And if you have a team, everyone is running those same steps. And then everything costs more and it takes longer. And that trickles down to everyone else. And now everyone else is slower. And then that's just from you or your department doing stuff slow. And then, you know, imagine that, repeat it into different departments with too many steps. It doesn't mean, like, I think you should take shortcuts either. Like, you should always do a good job. It's just more do a good job, but simplify the process.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, one of the things students tend to do is make everything harder for themselves. That's the irony. Is like they're always approaching it the most difficult way.
Yeah.
Like whenever I look at a comp file from a student, I'm just like, oh my god, you created like 5 times more nodes than you needed. All the time, like way too many nodes, and I'm like, no wonder this is hard for you. This is a lot of nodes.
Ricardo has a question.
That's a great question. Will you guys be doing streams about your project with Luma? I want to. So I want to do it. I need to talk to Alex and see how we would do that. I need to speak to Luma and see how we would do that. It would be different. It wouldn't be like a weekly thing where it's this like 2 hours of us just talking about stitching. It wouldn't be like that. It would have to be more controlled and edited, but I think it would be really cool. I want to try to do it. We want to bring Gnomon along on everything we do. We would not have any of these opportunities if it wasn't for Gnomon. Literally, from the fact that we graduated from there, the fact that we teach here, to the fact that Alex is the one who believes in us more than anybody.
Oh yeah, we would recommend everyone.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. I didn't want to be negative, but when you go to a film festival, it's really difficult when your stuff is playing. It's always been a difficult experience for me. But yeah, you can always tell when someone doesn't like your stuff. I remember.
Who doesn't like it? What are you talking
Well,
about?
when we went to like the Ningyo Film Festival.
Oh, okay.
So I always never felt like I always had, you know, felt hard, like it was hard, but Alex was always very supportive and positive on our work. And what I mean hard is I didn't feel good about it.
I don't know. I always thought our films are received pretty well at a film festival. I'm actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, sorry. It's my mind is like messed up.
Yeah, our films are. I'm not sure what you're talking about. What film festival has not been good for us?
No, film festivals have been good, but I always feel insecure.
Okay.
About what's being played, and I'm just not speaking clearly.
Okay, that's different because we've gotten a lot of love at film festivals.
Yeah. Well, I felt that we have on Voice in the Hollow, and I didn't feel as good about the Ningyo.
It's because the Ningyo is not as good.
So that's what I mean. Yeah. But that's where I think, you know, Alex was super encouraging. Like from there, well, even on Green Root Pumpkin, right? So way back then. I'm gonna stop. You can talk
Why am I gonna? Why are you gonna
because
stop?
I'm putting my foot in my mouth.
No, you're not.
I am reevaluating this color. I don't know if this brow is too red. Like it needs more white or something like that. What do you think?
I think it looks very pretty.
But do you think it looks better whiter here?
No, I like it. I like it like.
But is it heavy with this white on top? He looks like Woody Woodpecker.
Yeah, but that's fine.
For some reason, it looks like Woody Woodpecker. Does it look like that to you?
Listen, Woody Woodpecker is my favorite cartoon growing up. I used to love Woody Woodpecker, so that's fine.
Well, okay. Like these guys are. This one here is more simple. This one, I mean, it has like the white brow. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then this guy, when I look at him, I'm like, what was I thinking? He's got like one horn shape, and this one's got like 3.
That's super cool. That is the Woody Woodpecker. He's got like that crazy mohawk.
Let's see. Okay, so Benjamin explaining radio array. I don't feel like Maya has like, I know like 3D Max has like what people tell me like a crazy array tool, but I don't use 3D Studio Mac. And then I think Maya's kind of simple. Yeah, he doesn't really look like Woody Woodpecker.
She is doing a radial array. She's just doing it. She's doing it manually, basically.
Yeah,
But
like
you
have
are.
to. I am doing it, but you have to set it up, and so
Yeah.
it's not like a feature. Like I know in Max, there's, it's literally called array. So
Yeah.
yeah,
She just does it. She just does it manually because she's
because
Crazy
I don't.
Tran. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have an option. Like that's how it has to be done.
Yeah, but the fact that you're able to do it to begin with, period, is pretty incredible. Like you're doing what people use a plugin for. You found a way to do it manually, which is pretty cool.
What do you think of this right here? If this brow is white, or
That's
gold?
gold.
Gold.
Yeah, the other one is it's too white.
Okay.
Let's see what happens if I move this.
I have to put, let's see, a stitch in here that reads. Yeah, so we're going to cut down, like Miguel said, on the streaming, but we will come back. And when we do come back, the updates will be bigger.
The Luma thing would be cool. I just have to figure out how to do it. Right, Tran?
Yeah, I guess.
You guess?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see.
So these stitches look really,
They look beautiful.
well, they look really ugly on this surface because it's really bumpy. I'm not sure if these will, they look gross. Maybe I can't put it on the inside. And they're probably too big. Like I want them to be bigger. but I think that it makes it look more obviously like a texture. So I have to keep it smaller.
Let's render this.
Trying to talk to work while engaging. Yeah. That could be difficult. Right, Miguel?
Yeah, believe it or not, I'm working on stuff on the other side. I'm just doing all these rain tests. I'll show the rain stuff next week.
Yeah. So this week, like Miguel said, was R&D. I was trying to get look at the metahuman eye because of the way it's constructed. Like the shader is known for being pretty fantastic. Well, look at this. This is super weird and dark. And I don't like just getting a metahuman in has gotten like much more complicated in 5.5. I don't know if you guys noticed that. But it took forever just just to get the metahuman like inside the operating in the software. Okay, there we are. I know that people were like saying it's harder to also get like the Megascan stuff too to import it in because it switched to like Sketchfab, but I'm sure they'll smooth those things out. And then I did notice like with some of the tests I was doing, just seeing how it responds to different Olympic formats, it does not respond well to like geometry cache. So for us, we bring in Olympics two ways, two possible ways. One of them is as a skeletal mesh format or as a geometry cache. And when we use hair, we've had to use geometry cache because this is the only way we can parent it on. And then geometry cache has parallax issues with the eyes. And that's super technical. But all the parallax mapping breaks. Okay, those stitches seem to work at the top. I probably can't stitch this crack area at all. And then maybe here, I'm using white because I just want it to stand out. I'm not sure if blue works. It's kind of like a vibrating color. So I'll stick to white. And the blue is supposed to be very mute. But I'll just add more complex stitching. Let's see. I'm following the chat. And is anyone here like international? That there's a few international people, right? Like overseas, or there's some people in the U.S. in the chat. I'm just curious. I think I've asked before, but my memory retention is low. Nicola Nixon is, I really enjoy live work sessions. I feel like they're pretty educational, showing the process that chores usually gloss over. I'm glad that you like that. I think this is more like a chat and hangout kind of vibe. Oh, you're in Cali. Okay. Yeah, so we're at 2:05. I didn't get to quite finish this thing. I might finish it the next stream, or we might do something else.
I want to show all the stuff I've been figuring out next stream. So I'll take over next week. I'll show the rain stuff. I'll show like some other things. So
Yeah.
all right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks, Gnomon. Thanks, NVIDIA and Dell. And we'll be back next week. And thanks everybody for the support.
Oh, Ted's from Virginia. Netbug lives in the country of burgers.
You know what I was looking at? My mother's is looking to move, and I was sending her some houses in Virginia, like some beautiful places over there. Virginia is very pretty. Okay, so thanks everybody. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.